My oath, the Reform Party leader, the man who the polls tell us will be the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, till he is, he's here each and every week on Sky News. Nigel, nice to see you, mate. Hope you are well. Now, I have been, if your ears have been burning, it is because I have been talking about you, both on and off the air, in relation to that giant pro-Palestine march which happened in Sydney just a couple of days ago. No doubt you saw the pictures going on across the Harbour Bridge and making their way around the world. But I couldn't help compare. Now, their situation, of course, was the police said no, the Premier said no, they got a court victory, they went and did it anyway. They, of course, required many, many dozens, if not hundreds of officers to make sure everything's in place. Were they sent a bill? No. As I have said, many, you were sent a bill for $3,000 because ratbags were going to turn up and cause trouble at an event in Sydney. I would hate to say we're on the verge of a two-tier system here, but it does seem like we're on the verge of a two-tier system here.
No, that's completely wrong. You're not on the verge of a two-tier system in Australia. You've got a two-tier system in Australia. It's pretty obvious. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps under broadcasting rules you can't say it, Paul. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, my situation was extraordinary. I mean, this was a peaceable meeting of consenting adults who were coming along to spend an evening with me. And yeah, because some sort of yobs wanted to come along and cause trouble, I got sent a bill. No, I mean, it is just ridiculous. But actually what you're seeing, I think, in Australia, as we're seeing in London, is the effective surrender to the pro-Palestinian mob, some of whom, of course, support Islamic extremism. And they are scoring victories across the Western world because governments, police forces, the authorities are frankly now just too scared to stand up to them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a scenario where, again, in Australia, we've had these debates about certain symbols that must be banned, things like the swastika, obviously things like, again, the fighting flags of terrorist forces around the world. And guess what? Some people on the bridge were flying them. Now, I don't believe that to be the majority of the people that were on the bridge. That's not because of broadcast rules. That's just common sense, right? But the police may well have been able to walk up to the clearly identifiable human being clearly holding the sign of a symbol that is banned for use in any part of New South Wales. But the reason they didn't was because of the reaction it would have provoked. That's my issue here too. And we see this, of course, in the UK, and certainly whether it's just the poison of the algorithm I get sent, but how many people holding the Union Jack are being pushed aside by police while a whole bunch of people who couldn't care less about the Union Jack are the ones filling the streets?
Well, quite. And I mean, imagine turning up with an Israel flag. Oh my goodness gracious me. I mean, you'd be, you can't do that, can you? But if you want to chant from the river to the sea, which means basically the eradication of the state of Israel and the people within it, then that's absolutely fine. And this is two-tier, and it runs all the way through. It runs through policing, and I can speak for my country, it runs through justice as well, where people who put intemperate tweets after the riots last year, Lucy Connolly finished up with 31 months in prison. I mean, somebody of previously impeccable record puts out one intemperate tweet. Yeah. But I tell you what, the great public, the majority of the public are waking up to this nonsense, and they're beginning to turn, I think, on our politicians, on our police forces to say you must do better.
Now, those that have their eagle eyes, they can notice that the logo behind you is the GB News logo. It is the free speech channel in the United Kingdom, and what a record they've just rolled up in July, which is they are now the #1 news channel in the UK. This is incredible. We're talking about UK version of Sky. We're talking about the BBC. And this little old upstart that they tried to kill before it could walk is now running and beating the rest of the field. What does that tell you about where Britain might be headed?
Well, it tells me two things. One, how complacent mainstream media has been, how comfortable everybody is in their London zone and, and they have their avocado on toast for breakfast and things like that, whereas in the real country they have bacon sandwiches. It sort of says an awful lot about it, but it also shows there's an audience out there that want real debate. And I'll say this about GB News, it is no propaganda channel. We allow every voice imaginable onto this channel to have their say. And, it can be strong debate, but it's civilized debate within the rules of democracy. And I think, within a space of 4 years, with not that big of resources, it's a pretty massive achievement. And I have to say, I'm very proud to have been a part of it, right from the very get-go.
Yeah, my oath. Congratulations to yourself, the whole team that have been in and out of the joint, and of course their boss Angelo, who's a dear friend of mine and used to be the boss here at Sky News. All right, now let's talk about the London Mayor Sadiq Khan. Now, this is a bloke who, you've made the offer, let's have a little debate. You've got a worldview, I've got a worldview, both of us have got the command of the English language, let's have a debate. But guess who doesn't want to have the debate? And I guess it ain't you.
No, I mean, knife crime in London is up 58% since 2021. That is a shocking, frightening figure. People now won't walk down main streets. I'm talking about Regent Street, Oxford Street. They're scared to get their phones out because the moped gangs come along and snatch phones. 1 in 3 Londoners has now been a victim of phone theft. Women won't wear jewellery during the day, let alone the night, even in the smartest parts of Chelsea and Kensington. Crime has gripped the capital, and it's nearly all being done by foreign gangs, none of whom should ever have been allowed into the country. And, I've been saying that for nearly 20 years, and I've been demonised for it, but I've never changed my tune. And the mayor does not wish to debate it. The mayor says, don't worry, crime is okay. London is fine. Well, it's not. And it's that kind of complacency from Khan, and indeed, I think, from the Labour Party, which is why we're seeing these astonishing, rapid shifts in British politics. And the speed of change is unlike anything we've literally ever seen before.
So should you perform as well as the polls suggest, how do you deal with this? Because obviously the councils have the role of local policing. There's obviously not the state-based system that we would have in a place like Australia. How would you make sure that a lefty mayor doesn't stand in the way of the policing that the people of said council or country as abroad would want?
Well, in Warwickshire and Midlands County yesterday, we revealed that the leader of the council, who was elected on May the 1st for reform, was told by the police and by the local authorities not to reveal the fact that a 12-year-old girl who was raped last week, that this was done by 2 Afghans who come to Britain by boat. Wow. All right? And we were outraged. I did a press conference on it yesterday, and overnight, the Prime Minister and Home Secretary have said in future, details, including ethnicity, of those who are alleged to have caused these crimes has now to be made public. So you see, if you fight back against the authorities, you can get them to change. And that's what we need to do in London, all over London, frankly. I mean, people are leaving us because of taxes, but they're also leaving us because of crime.
Maya, thank you so much, Nigel. Do appreciate it. We'll see you again next week here on Sky News.